my name's Paula Kennedy. I'm an Executive Director at Herefordshire Housing, and I'm responsible in overseeing the development of the Larkrise project.
And what struck you as unique about Larkrise?
I suppose there are quite a number of things that are unique about this project. It's unique because it's going to enable the local community to support members of the local community to remain independent in that community. So the people here in Larkrise are going to have the opportunity to not require state intervention. It's not going to be about the local authority coming in and supporting them, whether that's young parents or older people. It's going to be the local community that's going to be doing that. And that means that they're going to be independent in a way that works for them and the people that live here.
And what do you think the need is within this community for this project?
There's a whole range of people that want to live in both in terms of living in Much Birch, but also in terms of living in the type of housing that the co-housing project is going to provide. It's younger people, it's older people, it's mature families, it's people that want to live in an environment that supports each other, that offers an opportunity to deliver not just housing, but other benefits for themselves and for the wider community.
And do you think this is particularly important development in that it's been born out of the core group of local people? This isn't people moving to the area, this is community wanting to improve.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things that we're really excited about, that it's the vision of local community members that have brought this development to the fore. We bring our development and our financial expertise, but they bring the passion, they bring the desire to deliver something different for the community. And that's really important to us and really important to the success of the project.
Do you feel it's one of the key selling points is its impact it's going to have on the wider community of Much Birch?
I suppose in terms of the impact it's going to have more widely, in that it's going to hopefully create a more cohesive community. This isn't about parachuting in something from the outside. This is about local people delivering for local people, the needs of the community, meeting their own needs. So it enables people locally to look beyond their own boundaries and support people, but not have something just parachuted in on them.
I've forgotten what I asked you, but I'm sure it was
Want my name and that again or not?
No, we don't have long enough. There will be strap lines. That's
Fine.
Purely so I remember. What's the uniqueness of this development, please?
There are a whole series of reasons why this project is unique and innovative. It's a real opportunity for local people to provide a supporting environment for other local people so that they can remain independent, living in the community of Much Birch, whether that's young parents, older people, mature families, the whole community living in an environment which supports itself.
And how important do you think it is that this project was born from out of a core group of local people?
It's one of the reasons why we at Herefordshire Housing are really excited about this, because it's the vision of local people that has enabled this project to come to fruition. We bring our development and financial expertise, and they're bringing the passion for the project, which moving forward is going to open up a whole new range of housing options for people living in Much Birch and within Herefordshire more widely.
And actually, in terms of the site, it's quite relatively small. What sort of scale of this building are we talking about? How many houses, how many families is this going to support?
It's going to support around 20 families in total. It's going to be a mixed tenure site, so it's going to have homes for people to rent and also homes for people to buy. So it's going to be a mixed community. It's not going to be saying, okay, well, if you only have options for renting or you only have options for buying, you have to live here or you have to live here. This is a much more broader base community option.
And when the plans went to the architects, what was the brief given from the side on the social housing side? And how's that been integrated into the whole community?
In terms of the options that we were looking for, it was really about making all of the opportunities that somebody might have in wider society available to those people who would want to rent. So if that's about having somewhere that's for young people to do their homework, for older people to perhaps sit and study, then those opportunities were going to be afforded for people who are renting in the same way as they would about people who were looking to buy their own home.
What's the design considerations that have been given in terms of sort of the community's impact on the existing community that it's sort of slotting into?
Well, one of the things that's really important in an area like Much Birch is that the new design housing is very sympathetic to both the landscape and the existing accommodation that's already here. So in terms of coming up with a design for this project, what we wanted to do is say, okay, well, this needs to be sympathetic. It needs to not impose itself too much on the existing landscape and the existing community buildings.
And what are the key designs within it that will enhance the wider community?
Well, there's opportunities within the scheme for people outside of the community to come in and be a part of that community. And whether that's about the communal gardens or about the communal shared space internally, it means that they're not excluded from being a part of that community.
And how much do you think this will act as an incubator to other ideas? How much of this is a new concept? How much of this is sort of harking back to a traditional sense? And I was just wondering in terms of maybe the county area where this sits.
I think there's a real premise at the moment in society about the bigger society and about people looking to themselves for solution, which is actually harking back to perhaps, you know, many years ago. That's what people did. They looked out for each other. They looked out for their neighbours. And what this sort of project does is allow people the space to do that. It creates an environment where people can look out for each other. And what hopefully that will do is show that you can live in a different way that meets the needs of individuals and the wider society in a way that works for everybody, and hopefully gives us an opportunity to deliver that beyond just this scheme.
And sort of building on that, how much of the sort of design and the ideas behind this project addresses some of the concerns councils face in terms of healthcare needs and people living longer in the houses, and I guess also a sort of leaching of younger people from out of country areas? Yeah.
I suppose what we hope with this project is that because people are being supported in their communities, what they're not going to be reliant upon is either the local authority or central government coming in and looking after them. What we hope is that people will be looking after each other, and whether that's about shared childcare, whether that's about looking in on older people who perhaps might be vulnerable in particularly bad weather, those sorts of things. What it isn't about is about waiting for somebody from outside of the community to come in and look after those. It's about looking after your own, which at a time when both local authority and central government are looking to make huge cuts in terms of social and healthcare budgets, has real benefits both for the individuals that live in the community and the wider community.
And if there are concerns about increase of traffic and sort of increase of traffic, how does the community address this? This is environmental something.
something about the environment and traffic.
Something about cars.
I'll tell you what it is.
Or is it, you know where I'm trying to go?
Yeah, what they're saying is there'll be a reliance on the car, therefore it's unsustainable because the carbon footprint will be greater. So it's something about saying, yeah, but okay, they're going to be car sharing, so there'll be less trips anyway. They'll be growing their own food, which means there'll be less miles that food has to travel to get to the plate from the field. Yeah. So actually it's about balance in terms of that little conundrum. Therefore it is sustainable.
Okay. Yeah, one of the concerns that people have about the project is it's going to increase its impact on the environment. So there's going to be more cars in the area, there's going to be more traffic. But the expectations of the people that live here is that there is going to be car sharing, carpooling. So there isn't going to be a car or 2 or 3 cars for every household that lives here. And the community is also going to be growing its own food. So it's not going to be having to pop down to the shop every 5 minutes to pick up the needs. It's actually going to be creating meeting its own need within the community. So in terms of the environmental impact that it's going to have, my expectation is actually going to be very sustainable.